It's hard to believe that Mastodon's career is already 15 years old. In 2002, Remission came out, their first full-length album, and certainly took a lot of people by surprise. Their opening few releases certainly proved that they were definitely fit to be heavy metal royalty if the timing and the fans were there. And, well, they were. Over the past 15 years, they have scored a legion of fans, not to mention have been seen as largely influential to the crop of bands now starting to really accommodate the heavy metal field here in 2017, before and beyond, and the future only seems brighter as their influence will continue to give other bands a reason to be. But just like any other group that is able to score an exponential value of fans, which will definitely grow larger with their upcoming album being released in a few days, there are definitely those that don't feel that this group is amazing, that they don't feel that they are genius or worth all of the hype. It almost seems wrong. It almost seems like whenever you find out that some people dislike Tool or Iron Maiden, but it's out there. And there's 5 reasons why. And that's why we're here. Here are 5 reasons why people hate Mastodon, and we're going to start with number 5. Number 5 is that they think that they're overrated. This seems wrong almost. It seems like you're, instead of putting, peanut butter and jelly together, you're putting peanut butter with pickled shit, and it just doesn't taste very, very good. This opinion doesn't taste very good. However, there are those that feel that Mastodon has gotten way too much acclaim for simply not enough really being achieved, that this band simply was able to incorporate a harsher sound to a already, previously held form of heavy metal, and just seemed to get lucky that people were able to really, latch onto it. And then as time has worn on, they feel that they're overrated even more, considering that sound has changed. It's depreciated into something that has a little bit more of an explorative property to it, whether it be within the prog horizon or otherwise. These are folks that feel that Mastodon simply has gotten way too much acclaim for not nearly enough of a great body of work. Are these people necessarily correct? Well, I would have to disagree with them. I definitely think that Mastodon is worth the hype. There's definitely bands that are within sort of the same horizon that seem very complimentary and seem almost like they should be on the same level of acclaim, such as a group like Baroness. However, you need to have a flagship bearer. You need to have one that stands as the real, monolith of the genre. It's not like Megadeth gets the same amount of love as Metallica. Definitely showcases itself in the pocketbook, I'm sure, as well. So Mastodon is simply the flag bearer of this generation, of this style of music, but some people just don't simply see the hype. Number 4, they're not good live, and this is one that has a little bit of truth to it, at least from my personal experience. I remember seeing Mastodon with Opeth and Ghost a couple of years back, and I wouldn't necessarily say that they were bad live. The Laser Light show is fantastic, and the band sounded tight enough. However, something just seemed a little bit off with this performance by comparison to the 2 that preceded it, where both Ghost and Opeth were very clear and it seemed like they had an idea of what was going on. Mastodon seemed a little bit disheveled up on stage, almost as though this was something that was on autopilot, and the autopilot was kind of experiencing some turbulence. But there have been many reports out there that Mastodon simply has not been as good as expected whenever fans have gone out to see them in the live spectacle. They will always say that the visual aspect of that, the Laser Light show and other things that they're able to bring to the table are fantastic, but whenever it comes to the group themselves, some have even alleged that the band has blatantly forgotten lyrics, either that or just moved on from parts that were supposed to accompany songs, whatever. It just seems like that they forgot it. Whether or not that's been true within your experience or somebody else's experience is really all water under the bridge. It's based 100% off of the personal experience that somebody has had. However, this has definitely not been something that has been a one-and-done complaint. It's one that certainly has a little bit of grounded experience, and some people will even say that the band not interacting a lot with the fans is a bit of a turn-off as well, although for me, you win some and you lose some. Number 3 is Brent Hines. Now, this is based off of one comment, well, maybe 2 comments, and it was one that caused a real shitstorm. It basically was saying that Brent Hines said that he just didn't like metal anymore. In fact, he flat out hated metal. It was just not something that was for him anymore, and that he wanted to explore other things. And then, of course, a bunch of heavy metal fans got really, really offended by that, because heavy metal fans tend to do that. Yeah, sometimes I hate heavy metal fans myself, considering, well, just take a look at the 5 reasons people hate Slayer, or 5 reasons people hate Ghost video, and you'll understand that for as intelligent as most of us tend to be, some of us are really fucking stupid and don't understand the simple idea of, a video like this, which I'm pretty sure I make pretty obvious, but whatever. Brent Hines made some comments that certainly didn't rub themselves the right way with heavy metal fans, and based off of that, many folks turned away from the Mastodon camp as a whole, perhaps still saying that their music is enjoyable, but stating that they wouldn't support them with a purchase, either that or a live show experience, simply based around what Brent has said about their beloved metal. Then he also had some comments about Judas Priest that were not exactly flattering, and, well, Brent Hines likes to joke around a lot, and Brent Hines I don't think is extremely serious all the time, and I think a lot of that's been proven, with songs such as The Octopus Has No Friends, which, well, that's all that really needs to be said. Whether you like Brent Hines or not, or whether you think that these were true opinions or just reflections that were done whenever he had a microphone in his face a la Kerry King, is really your opinion. But some people just can't get past the fact that Brent has insulted their beautiful, beautiful heavy metal baby. How dare they? That's their beautiful baby. Number 2, they changed their sound, and this is one that always seems to get people. Even with a band such as Iron Maiden, that seems so universally beloved, a lot of folks will throw shade toward the path of Blaze Bayley or the 2000s material, and the same thing has happened with Mastodon, the same that has happened with Opeth. This is a band that with albums such as Remission and Leviathan certainly had something that's a little bit different, and noticeably different than what they had on albums such as Crack the Sky, Once More Around the Sun, or The Hunter, or perhaps even what we're going to hear on the upcoming album Emperor of Sand. And Mastodon is a band that is continuously evolving their sound, perhaps for the sake of longevity, or perhaps simply because they wish to explore these different musical avenues and have a little bit more of a dynamic relationship with their own sound. But either way, there are those that fell in love with albums such as Leviathan and Remission, which basically gave Mastodon their initial score of fans, that feel very betrayed by this, that feel that somehow, some way, Mastodon has turned their backs to what was truly theirs and what made them truly a unique band, and a band that was worthy of follow and praise. And based off of that, they simply cannot remain on the Mastodon wagon. And really, because of number 2, we have number 1, that their albums have supposedly gotten worse over time. Remission and Leviathan fanboys, whenever it comes to Mastodon, are almost like Opeth fanboys of, albums such as Orchid and My Arms Your Hearse and Morning Rise, especially the last one and the first, stating that whenever the band has gotten a little bit more production and a little bit more explorative to their sound, that their albums have gotten a lot worse because it's missing some of that raw quality that initially made them fans. And this is something that Mastodon has no doubt had to worry about also, with albums such as Crack the Sky seeming like a complete 180 from previous efforts, going into the progscape, 10-minute long songs, and ones that have a little bit more of a dynamic nature, ones that have a little bit more of a songwriting prowess to it, and then immediately 86ing that and going to albums such as Once More Around the Sun and The Hunter that seem to have a little bit more of a rock feel that has that sludge and has that metal sort of anchored within it. This is a group that, based off of that dynamic shaping and that transition of their sound, have certainly confused some fans, and those that once again have that raw property, loving those initial couple of albums, feel very confused and sort of heartbroken by this. They state that the albums have somehow gotten worse, when in reality, some of these albums, including the aforementioned Crack the Sky, could easily be seen as the true gems in their catalog, the ones that have perhaps the most to offer. Either way, this is something that's also plagued them in the 20-teens, Mastodon that is. Albums such as the aforementioned Once More Around the Sun and The Hunter have not been seen with the same overwhelming acclaim as some of their 2000s works, and that's based around somewhat them changing their sound, perhaps the perceptions that they've had based around comments by Brent Hines, perhaps a bad live experience, or the fact that some folks just simply feel that they've become overrated. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen, 5 reasons why Mastodon are not seen as the geniuses of the metal universe that some other folks might hold them to be. If you think that something was missed, let me know in the comments below. If you think there's a band out there that deserves to be roasted and toasted and burnt to a crisp via a 5 reasons people hate video, leave that suggestion in the comments box below. We are doing a huge donation-a-thon in April, a charity 50-50 stream that's going to benefit it's going to benefit an animal shelter in Akron, Ohio, entitled One of a Kind. You can scope out them in the description box below. If you want to donate to that cause, there is a link for you to do so. Please do this. This is for sheltered cats and for sheltered dogs, sheltered animals. It's one of the most progressive shelters I've ever seen, one of the cleanest, and one that does not believe in the no-kill philosophy. Once again, thank you very much if you decide to do so. I will talk to you guys next time. I am Cover Killer Nation. See you later.